Hello everyone, Parker here. I hope you're having an awesome day. Now today we're going to dive into one of the oddest photography composition rules, the rule of odds. Now according to the rule of odds, you can instantly create better images by applying it to your compositions. So in this video, you're going to learn what it is and how to use it. Stay until the end for a bonus pro tip to create better images with it. And if you're ready, let's do it. So what exactly is the rule of odds? Well, this rule suggests an image is more visually appealing when it contains an odd number of elements or subjects rather than an even number. For example, in this image, we have 1, 2, 3 elements, and then in this photo, we have 2. So according to the rule, 3 is better than 2. However, like any photo composition rule, it should be used as a guideline, not a hard and set rule. All right, so the rule of odds, or the guideline of odds, as it should be called, is based on the idea that odd numbers create a sense of balance and harmony that is more dynamic and engaging to the viewer's eye. Again, take this with a grain of salt, especially when photographing couples. And that's because sometimes 3 is a crowd. Now, the rule of odds is probably better suited for wildlife, landscapes, or images of nature than for portraits of people. Now, another question I get about the rule of odds is whether your subjects should all be the same, or is it okay if they're different, like in this image, where we do have 3 subjects, but they're different. So does that still fit the rule of odds? Well, we're going to explore that question later on. All right, so while I was hiking at the Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan, I stumbled onto this scene and I quickly created this image. Now, besides the colorful water here by the shoreline, it's kind of a boring photo. But after a few minutes, this group of kayakers paddled into the frame, and luckily 5 aligned perfectly with the rule of odds, creating a more engaging photo with a sense of balance and energy. But is 5 really better than 4 in this context? I'm not really sure. So if we take a look here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to grab my remove tool, and I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these elements here. And then we're going to see if this actually is better or not. Well, honestly, I don't think it really makes a difference whether it's 4 or 5. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, so this past year, I visited my family in Arizona, and along the way, I stopped in the 𝗵𝐸 Badlands in New Mexico, and after walking around for about an hour, I came across these hoodoos, which included around 10 to 12 in this area. Now, creating a strong composition with so many hoodoos was challenging, but the rule of odds worked perfectly when I focused on just 3. Now, truth be told, this composition could be a little bit better. I should have had a little bit of separation between this hoodoo and the background. But anyways, it worked much better with 3 versus 5, 7, or more, which brings me to an important pro tip when using the rule of odds. There's a diminishing return when you include too many subjects, like 7, 9, or more, and here's why. Overcrowding can make your photo look too busy or too cluttered. And in the case of the hoodoos, when I tried to include 5 or more, it became difficult to separate them clearly within the frame. And I also ran into this problem with these wild horses that were galloping through the isolated desert of New Mexico. Now, although there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wild horses, which fits the rule of odds, The rule doesn't quite work because one of the horses, this one back here, is kind of hidden partially from the other ones, making the scene feel less cohesive. However, I still love this photo, and I intentionally blurred the action to help tell the story by blurring the action with a slow shutter speed of 1/60th of a second to emphasize their speed, which adds to the story of this image. Now, here's another example. Let me go ahead and zoom out here of diminishing returns. So we have a lot of cacti in this image. Let's say 97. Well, although it fits the rule, it doesn't really give us a sense of balance. Now, what about the subjects being different, like in this photo here? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects, which fits the rule, but we have different types of subjects. Well, I don't think it really matters. It doesn't really say in the so-called rule that the subjects have to be exactly the same. 5 people, 5 humans, or 5 non-humans, or whatever the case may be. I think as long as it's a mixture of 5 primary or 3 primary subjects, or whatever the case may be, if they're different, that's okay. I think it still fits the rules. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, keep in mind, the rule of odds isn't a guaranteed solution to create perfect, amazing images. It works sometimes in some scenarios, but it isn't always the best choice, especially when your frame is crowded or subjects overlap awkwardly. Now, this is why it's essential to learn as many photo composition rules and techniques as possible so that you can choose the one or a combination that best suits your scene and subject. So check out this composition playlist to learn over 30 techniques and rules for creating amazing images. Thanks for watching and have an awesome day.